Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. My name's Paige and today we are going to go over a few niche things that I feel like I wish I knew before our trip to Southeast Asia this past summer that I didn't know. So let's get into it. If you are planning a trip to Southeast Asia or you have been, odds are you're probably gonna fly AirAsia or Viajet. Those were the two airlines that we used to travel between the 5 countries that we visited this past summer. And there were some things about those airlines that I don't feel like were super clear when we booked our flights, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes we did. First of all, let's get into AirAsia and their weight limit on their bags. So I feel like it's becoming more popular to have strict weight limit than like stricter sizes. Like I feel like a lot of places used to make you like test out to see if your bags fit in a bag sizer, but AirAsia was very strict on weight. So we went to go to our flight, we were doing just a carry-on and a backpack, and they saw our stuff and they were like, I think that's above your weight limit. What are the weight limits? Here you go. We didn't know that, so we had to go to the check-in desk, which we normally don't go to because we never check bags. We ended up having to pay, I believe, about 100 to 120 USD because it was over the weight limit. And what we did was we had to buy more weight. Don't ask me why, but that's how it worked. And because we upgraded at the airport, it was so much more expensive. If you buy extra weight ahead of time, it's like a third of the price. I still think it's ridiculous, but it's really good to know to make sure that you know what the weight limits are. Honestly, sometimes I feel like they check the bags and sometimes they don't. But in our case, our backpacks were pretty well stuffed, so they wanted to check to see if it weighed over the weight limit, and it definitely did. That's another thing. Their weight limit was combined carry-on and personal item. It's not a different weight for each thing. It's just those combined have to hit a certain weight limit. And then you buy more weight. And then if that weight exceeds the limit, then you have to buy more weight, but if it still fits in the carry-on size, you can still use it as a carry-on. So size does matter, but so does weight. Okay, now let's get into Viajet. So Viajet was a whole different issue, which once again, I had never come across. Viajet made us pay 140,000 Vietnamese dollars because our tickets were not the same as our passport, aka our tickets had our first and last name, and our passport also had our middle names. So we had to pay extra to get our tickets with our middle names on it. So once again, if you are gonna book a trip with Viajet, make sure that whatever you're booking it with is the exact same name that's on your passport, including your middle name, or else you're gonna have to pay. If you're going to run into this issue, all you have to do is go to the Viajet help desk and you will pay the fee and they will fix it for you and print you a new ticket. But it's not the end of the world, it's not super expensive, but it is annoying and we were super confused when it happened. So learn from our mistake. Another thing that we learned when we were in Vietnam is we knew ahead of time that we couldn't order Vietnamese currency beforehand like we usually do. So we were able to order some currency ahead of time. Vietnam currency, we were not able to. And then we figured out you basically aren't able to exchange it anywhere for USD if you have extra, except the airport. Like Bank of America would not let us exchange it, so we have to go to the airport and exchange it there because Bank of America like won't ship that money out to exchange it. I don't know if it's just Bank of America or Truist. I don't think Truist does it either, but just something good to know ahead of time if you have extra Vietnamese money to exchange at the airport back to what you need. Another thing that we learned when we were planning, and this especially matters if you're on tight timelines, that a lot of the airports in Southeast Asia and the countries we went to are like 45 minutes to an hour away from like the main hub, the main city. So we went to Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Bali. I think that Singapore city center was about 25 minutes from the airport. We flew into the main city in Malaysia, and that was an hour drive. In Cambodia, that was an hour drive from the Cambodia airport to Siem Reap. And in Vietnam, when we went to Hoi An and we flew into Da Nang, that was also about a 45-ish minute drive. And then Hanoi to the airport as well was, I want to say, like a 30-ish to 40-minute drive, but I'm gonna double check on that. And then Bali might not have been super far mileage-wise from the airport, but Bali traffic is so bad. We took a Grab one time, and to get 5 miles, it took us an hour. So Seminyak isn't super far from the airport, but it still took us like 45 minutes to get, I think it was like 10 miles or something. Like it was, yeah. Anyway, so just be prepared and don't try and schedule things like right after you get there, because more than likely you will miss your activity. Speaking of airport, when you do get picked up from the airport, don't be freaked out by aggressive driving. That is super normal. They know what they're doing. You're also probably gonna hear a lot of honking. At least we did, especially in Vietnam when we were driving around. That's how they communicate. That's not them looking to start a fight. That's drivers communicating like, hey, I need to get over. Like, yes, they have turn signals and stuff, but like honking is just super normal, so don't get freaked out. I promise you they know what they're doing, and I wouldn't recommend trying to drive over there, because quite frankly, I think you should just let the locals do their thing. And then leaving the airport as well, if you're going to call a Grab when you leave the airport, I'm gonna let you know that drivers are gonna be aggressive. Like taxi drivers are gonna be standing out there. They're gonna say, hey, do you want a cab? Oh, do you need a car? Oh, do you need a ride? And we had people follow us. Just stand your ground. You don't need to get into a discussion. Just keep walking. I, for this very reason, recommend scheduling a Grab, which is like their version of Uber. It's an app. You can download it and you can attach your card to it, or you can use cash. Super simple and user-friendly to use. Or schedule a transfer from the airport through your hotel. And hotels usually offer that at an extra cost. They're all gonna vary. And we did both. We did schedule Grab and we did a transfer through our hotel. Both were totally fine, but it is very overwhelming to get out of the airport and see a bunch of people yelling at you, being like, do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride? Here, here. Especially as a woman. Thankfully, I'm with my husband when we were doing this, but especially if you are just a single woman traveling, or you're traveling in just a group of women, I highly recommend having something pre-scheduled and then just ignoring people as they yell at you to see if you need a ride. It's okay, you're okay, that's how they earn a living. Don't be freaked out, but like it is very overwhelming. Also, in my experience, at least in Bali, when we had the most aggressive people who were reaching out to us when we got out of the airport to like see if we needed a ride, in our experience, the Grab drivers were wearing some sort of Grab apparel, whether that's a Grab helmet, a Grab shirt, a Grab jacket, like very easily identifiable. So that was easier than like someone pulling up in like a regular like t-shirt and shorts and like their motorbike and being like, hey, do you want to ride? Grab was like a lot more identifiable. Again, I don't know if that's just something that I noticed and it isn't actually a thing, but it's worth being aware of, in my opinion. Another thing that you're going to need to do is every time you enter one of those countries, you're gonna have to fill out a health screening when you land. They're super simple. There's gonna be QR codes posted all around you, and if you speak English, if you're from the US, just follow whatever sign has the American flag on it. That's the easiest way to do it, because they usually group like domestic flights, they have like USA, Canada flags, and then they have like all other countries. Again, that was just from what I can remember, that is our experience. So it was super simple to just follow that, go through it. You can always ask, and they're not gonna let you go through it until you complete it. So if you have a question, just ask, it's fine. For Bali and Singapore and Malaysia, we did e-visas on arrival, so we didn't book it ahead of time or anything like that. It was super simple. I will say with Bali, I wish we had done it ahead of time, but it was just a lot, and it didn't take a long time. It wasn't complicated, but we did have to wait in line for like 30 minutes, which sucked because we got in kind of late. We were tired, and yeah. So anyway, that's what I would recommend. We did do visas for Cambodia and Vietnam ahead of time. We needed to have visas in order to fly there ahead of time. This is where we went. I'll also link the website in the description, so it's an easy place that you guys know where you can apply for a visa. And these are the restrictions, so like how long the visa is good for and when you should apply for the visa before your trip. But for general like frame of reference, visas were typically valid for 90 days, and you can apply anywhere from 60 days out from your date of arrival. Like I mentioned previously, you're gonna get drivers who are trying to sell you their services, you're gonna get people who want you to book their tour, and you're especially gonna get shop vendors asking you to come to their shop, buy something. If you even look at something or like touch something like just quickly, they're gonna be like, oh, come buy, and like they might follow you a little bit, they might show you the thing that you wanna buy, they'll start trying to bargain with you even if you're walking away. It's okay, that happens. We even had someone follow us at one point and ask us why we didn't wanna go somewhere, and we just kept saying firmly no and kept walking. We never felt unsafe, but I do want you to be aware that that's going to happen if you're gonna go shopping or walk around or anything. People are gonna try and get you to buy things, do things, whatever. We never felt unsafe, but be aware of it. You're not getting targeted. It's just, it is what it is. As always, exercise the usual safety precautions, travel in groups, don't go out late at night, that sort of thing. But I will say you are gonna get people who are very pushy trying to sell you things. It's okay, just look straight ahead or say no thank you politely and keep walking. Eventually they will stop, and we never felt unsafe. Just be smart. And lastly, please be kind. You are gonna meet people are trying to get you to buy stuff, they're trying to get you to go to the restaurants, they're trying to get you to ride their cars. This is what people do. They rely on tourism. Be nice. Seriously, just be nice. You are in their country, you are at their mercy. Be nice. These people are just trying to make a living. A lot of the time, if you book a tour or you book a driver, they're gonna ask you to leave a review. Please do it. They, again, rely on this. They wanna stand out, and especially if you got like top-notch service, which I think we did. Every single thing we did, every tour we took, these people are amazing. I highly recommend visiting these countries. Leave a review. It's gonna take less than 5 minutes, and it's gonna make their day, and they deserve it. They work hard, just they're good people. They're really good people. So just take that into account if you feel like people are bothering you to leave a review or anything like that. And it helps out fellow travelers who are like, should I book this? Should I do this? Should I do that? Leave a review, be honest, leave pictures. Like, I don't know about you, but when I look to buy something or book something, I always read the reviews and I always want to look at their pictures. It's helpful. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something, and I hope you feel more prepared for your upcoming trip to Southeast Asia. And I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe for more. All right, guys, happy traveling.